Alright, we have a drainage culvert right here, so you can, it's really interesting to kind of read the land. We're on the street here, the Google brought me here, so I'm assuming this is going to be our best access. But the van's there, and it's interesting to kind of read the watershed and the drainage, because that's all your water and your soil. It's going to tell us about the soil. In the valleys, there's typically more soil than there are up on the peaks. So this is kind of in a little valley here on the watershed. So that's where we got this drainage. So this is kind of a low spot in the road, and the water is going to gather here, and then it comes across the road. And here's the culvert, and so the mouth of the culvert is going to be right here. Looks like it's open. It could use some service and some cleaning. But then you're going to have pretty massive influx of water right up here that may or may not be a concern, but there's a lot of slope on this property, so it's really easy to move the water around, which is an advantage. Think about it. And then you got great access to the sky here. It's noon, so this is looking like kind of a southeast orientation. I'll check on the compass. Got the power lines overhead, so you got to be careful with any dump trucking in here. Some nice tree there, drainage here, telephone pole here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just walk down the full width of what I believe is going to be the property. And there's a really old, dilapidated log cabin down there, which is pretty cool for a little history project. We'll see what the access was for that. We got another culvert right here. Interesting. And this looks like the property line right there. You can see it. It's been marked. And this is the mouth of this culvert. It's in need of some clearing as well. But it looks like this is... Oh yeah, there's an exit here. So there's going to be a culvert that comes across there and dumps into there. And that looks like it's gotten a little bit of flow, but not a whole lot. Let's look over here. Doesn't look like this has gotten a whole lot of flow either to me. There's a lot of fines in there, and it's intermittent at best, but that could dump some water occasionally, because this is a drainage way. So then we have this little property line over here. I'm not really seeing any access over here, but these culverts will either need to be extended and cross what is the future driveway, or avoided. So we could come in with some fill here and go right down at an angle and kind of traverse to reduce the pitch, and just basically go in a diagonal to the other side of the property. And there'd be a whole bunch of fill required all through here. Many dump trucks. We could build a retaining wall down low, which would reduce the fill requirement. Fill is probably cheaper than a wall, or maybe a combo of the two. But we might generate some rock down below. I think it'd be nice to retain this blue spruce, which is, in my opinion, the nicest tree up here on the roadway. There's some nice, really mature trees. So assuming some of these will have to come down, maybe they could be avoided. You could run in a diagonal right along there, up above these big trees here, and do a little bit of rock work around the base of that tree, and then have our bench start basically right there and kind of come up and come out like that with a nice little drop down between, we would take out that tree there and that slash obviously, but go through there and then do kind of a switchback and an entry into the parking. It would be down there, assuming you want to put the house down into the property a little bit. Let's see if we can see what the neighbors did. All right, so you can see they have a little bit of a retaining wall built with wood, which wood is the facing, and it looks like they have some cobble. So you kind of want to have a bit of a broad turnout right when you turn off the road, and you can turn off from either direction. And those aspen should be removed per code, but they left them there, and that's cool that they could get away with it. You know, I'm always in favor of less rules. General rule of thumb, haha, the irony. So now I'm gonna climb down onto the property and we'll check out this old building and kind of visualize where to situate things, including the septic and the house. So this might be a good entry point as well. We would need to extend the culvert across the driveway and pretty much drop down like right here. Basically build a big platform right here, climb down, and then cut in a diagonal going that way, which could work as well. So all right, here we go. I'm really sad I forgot my dog. Oh, here's a little bit of a cut here, actually. That's interesting. So a little bit of earthworks has already been done. A little bit of shaping. There's some stairs over here. That's a cool concept. Yeah, keep everything high and maybe don't get as close, and then just have it drop down a level from the parking down to the house. That's cool. That's kind of how we have it at our house. Works well. Sweet little trail. Yeah, cool trees. That one is they call that a widowmaker. Kill a man. And this is our little historical monument that most likely will need to be removed. It looks like a pretty hazardous situation, but cool trees, man. These are nice. So there's a little pathway right there going down to the house. Let's check it out. I'm probably somewhat repeating the pattern that's already been established as a cool philosophy, I think. Neat way to go, because you're leveraging the work of our ancestors. The history of this place, a lot of wood. Maybe. Wow. So we need to either run a grappling attachment and shuttle the material up the hill to load trailers. That's probably what we would do. Or improve the access to the extent that we can bring the dump truck down here. That's probably what we should do. And then we'll just load the dump truck with the excavator. So before demo, we build the access, which means we need to do a lot of planning. Well, I'm gonna keep walking down just to see what I discover. Just get to know the property 100%, but it looks like my recommendation is to use the similar spot of the existing house, because you got soil in here. You do have some drainage in here, but it's not hard to manage because it moves so quickly. and you're gonna, you know, in the Rockies you got rock to build on, so you don't have to worry about things very much. But wow, look at the foundation of this building. That is cool. I really like that foundation system. As far as the earthwork is concerned, it's in my opinion, a cost-effective way to go. So as long as you can bear the load, but then you might as well just pour a wall there too. So that's typically how we've been building them. Then you have some enclosed space. Some really cool trees and vegetation in here. This is a really kind of lush and fertile zone. Maybe, yeah, I'm gonna check my compass and see how I'm looking. So it's actually a northeasterly aspect, which is about as cold as it gets. So this site is gonna hold snow. It would sure be fun to build a terrain park going down through the trees. You got a lot of slope. This site is gonna hold snow, and you got a lot of cool trees to weave in and out of and have a really cool run. So that is one possibility for fun in the Rocky Mountains, skiing or snowboarding. It would be fun to just build a track that has some fun little features to have fun with. And the same goes for the possibility of a mountain bike downhill route, just depending on the appetites for fun of the new owners, who I have not met yet, but I look forward to chatting with. There's another little earth cut here, a rock slab there. This is some access, and this is basically a good spot for the septic. You can do a really cost-effective septic here because I think if we find the right spot, we'll find plenty of soil to put the leach field in, because it is in this little bit of a drainage pan. So we have soil here, you can see. That's why all the vegetation is so happy as well. And you know, think about this being a nice, cool, cold, well-vegetated, lush little mountainside. And right now we have global warming and global climate change, and nobody knows quite how it's going to change. So I think betting on cooler properties is probably in general a pretty good bet. I think we should put the septic, just kind of trying to read the soil here. There's the existing house there, and that's to the north of the house, and probably just due north exactly. And it looks like a great spot for the leach field. And then we can get plenty of drop, and we can do a dosing siphon, so we have the cheapest septic system available. Just a dosing siphon, no electric, plenty of fall. I think right there is going to be our best soil area but we may want to get downhill just a little bit more to get plenty of head pressure on that dosing siphon, so we have good long-lasting leach field. But I think that's probably plenty. 10 feet is kind of what we're going for. So between there and here, I'm gonna say that's about 15 feet of difference, roughly. I got Strava going, so I'll be able to check my elevations that way. Yeah, I also got OnX Hunt, which shows me all the property lines, and a really cool app. So we got some rock slab there. This is quite a steep slope, so if it wasn't for being in the drainage, this would be a much more difficult site to work with. Well, it looks like we got a zip line over here, so probably the neighbors look like they definitely like to have a good time in the mountains. Hi, dogs. Some really nice dogs next door. Looks like the neighbors are good people. Always want to give people the benefit of the doubt and start things off on the right foot. Good neighbors are really great value add. So I don't know how far down this property goes, but I'm just walking down a little longer. Some really cool rocks. This is an awesome rock. And what would be really cool is to put a few check dams in this waterway, and you could actually get more infiltration of water into the earth, and then this stream would start flowing gently for a longer part of the year, and you would have occasional little ponds that you could go and look at that would be healthy little ecosystems, and it would reduce erosion, which makes the public safety and public health happy. It's a really good rock through here. Cool vegetation. This is like a grove of some sort. Oh, aspen grove, pine grove. And here is a fence down here at the bottom. So it looks like a property corner over there. Some undeveloped land adjacent in this back corner. So here I am on the property corner. I'll mark it on the map. So this back fence is functioning, standing up, catching things. A lot of cleanup could be done. A lot of dead wood that's down. So I'll need to hurry up and get my electric cargo hauler built and marketed so I can sell one to these new property owners if they'd like. Maybe they want to buy a prototype and be early investor. So this is one cool property. I don't know. Oh, and here's a little, I think this may be on the property. Well, here's a stick. Here's a little built structure that looked like it was maybe built by kids. There's the zip line right there. And there's the fence right down there. So I don't know if these guys are having a good time on this subject property or if the property line comes this way, but I will make a waypoint and we can look at it later. All right, basically I walked all the way down the fence line and this barbed wire fence that keeps going, but I did find a property boundary right here. So there's a little bit of, I was trying to peek up through the trees right there and see if I'm in line with the fence line of the neighbors, but I can't quite tell. So I'll mark, here, let's see. There's a cool mark on a tree. There's one. There's another one. So this is a nice property. As far as sloped property goes, having some soil and some water to work with on a slope is really nice because your cost of development is less. Having dirt to work with in the Rocky Mountains is premium. And you also have the advantages of a slope, which is to move water around, to slow it down, to get it to pool and pocket and hold soil, hold vegetation, hold life. I think this is a good property. I really like it. I think whoever decides to develop here will have endless amount of entertainment taking care of this property and fulfillment, because that's what taking care of the land does. Take care of the land and it takes care of you. We have a relationship with it. It feels good. And pretty. This is kind of the center of the ecosystem here, the water ecosystem, where the soil gathers and drops nutrients and brings life. So this could be enhanced. I'm gonna thin it out a little bit with the lower stuff, clean it up from the dead stuff, really enhance with some earthwork around, holding soil and water for these big mature trees, putting some rocks around the border and holding the soil in, holding the water in. You can really just take good care of this stuff, clean it up, make it beautiful. Beautiful little park in your backyard. People pay a lot of money to have access to Mother Nature like this. It's like beachfront. Water and having good use of your water and taking care of water, having water is valuable, really valuable. Who doesn't want to live on the waterfront? Oh, looks like I crossed into the neighbor's property. Sneak back. So here's an old outhouse. That'll need to be decommissioned. I'm assuming we're in Gilpin County here. But here's an old yard fence. See all the soil gathered here, where it slows down the water and drops the sediment out of the rushing water. When the water slows down, it drops soil. So anytime you slow down the water, you can create a flat spot where water soaks in and nutrients soak in as well. And it takes good care of the plants. These, based on where the tops of these roots are, they could possibly die, and you may want to open this up for yard. We will have to clear out some trees around the building footprint just to do construction, and most likely you'll be building something larger than this little cabin. So it looks like this fence goes this way. Not quite sure where the property line is up there, but there's a swing set awfully close. Here's the demo and cleanup. There's an old dead tree there. Oh, kind of, it seems like it almost, I guess this is some kind of drainage line. It goes around the tree and down. Maybe, looks like there's a couple of fence posts there. I wonder if that's a property separation. This is all one property. Let's see. I think the trick is going to be figuring out how to build this new development with minimal, ginormous tree removal. This a dead one there, obviously, but there's really cool big trees on this property. And trees are awesome. It takes, what, 50, 75 years to grow trees like that? I don't know, 100? Just a little piece of history. Let's say it's 100. 100 years of life, 100 years of witnessing this land, feeling all the feelings. It's a nice place. I really like it. There's another dead tree back there. So plenty of work to be done without even taking down the living trees. Obviously some bushes, some culverts, some shaping of all this beautiful dirt. And building a house. I think a really energy efficient house with really good insulation, like Scott and Amy's house next door. Insulated concrete forms, just bomb-proof against the weather, the heat, the cold. Incredibly energy efficient and quiet. Insulates from the wind. That's a thought. All right, more to come.